Well, during the last weekend in June, I was at the Fort Loudon 18th Century Market Fair, which was a great event. I had a wonderful time there, camped there. And one of the best things about going to an event like that is I get to talk to so many people. I get to see old friends I haven't seen for a while, and then there's all the new people that come up. And it's always a pleasure to get to meet you. And invariably, the first question I was asked by both old friends and new friends were what's going on with the legal battle over Duelist N. And that made me realize that I'm just not doing a very good job of keeping you guys informed of what's going on. And the reason for that is there's really not much going on, but I really should be letting you know. So I thought I'd put this update out there and get everybody caught up so you know exactly where I am, with the battle for Duelist N, as I call it. Well, the first thing I should probably do is give you just a little update, a recap of what's gone on to date. I'm sure most of you are aware of this, but in case some of you are tuning in for the first time. Back in February of 2023, this year, I got a letter from the zoning board of North Hopewell Township, which is the Pennsylvania township where Duelist N is located. That said, I am in violation of the zoning ordinances because I am operating a shooting range, and that requires a special exemption permit. So, naturally, I'm flabbergasted by this, right? But I assumed this has got to be a mistake because the ordinances that they sent me, when you read them, they're all obviously geared towards either a major gun club type of thing or a full-blown commercial, shooting range. Not just some guy who goes out shooting alone on his land, once a week at most, right? So I thought, well, this has got to be a mistake, and a phone call will clear this up. But as it turns out, it wasn't a mistake. They were as serious as a heart attack. And it was quite a shock to me. And as it turns out, there are a small number of politically connected residents in North Hopewell Township who, except for one, is not even an immediate neighbor, who, for reasons I don't quite understand, want me gone, gone from their lives completely. So, talking was obviously getting me nowhere. So I got legal representation, and I went to a firm that specializes in zoning law. So I'm kind of an unusual client for them. I mean, typically they handle land developers that are trying to put in shopping centers or factories or housing developments, things like that. But now they got little old me, and they are very good at what they do. So we're going forward. So the first step was to appeal to the zoning board to reconsider their ruling, which we did. We had a hearing on April 12th where the zoning board voted 2-1 to reject my appeal. So I appreciate the one vote in my favor. And now that was not unexpected because, as my lawyers pointed out, this wasn't a judicial proceeding. It's a quasi-judicial proceeding, but really it's a political proceeding. I mean, the zoning board is unlikely to overrule themselves. They've already decided that I need to be out of there, and I was unlikely to change their minds at this hearing. And in point of fact, the hearing was stacked very much against me. And it was run in a manner contrary to Pennsylvania state law, which is one of the things that's in our court case. So went through that, got smacked around for a couple of hours, no fun at all. So the hearing went against me. And that's probably where I left you last, right? That we were going to file in court. Well, the way that works is not exactly as straightforward as maybe you'd think. So the first thing we had to do was wait for the zoning board to put out the official written results of the hearing. And they're allowed 45 days from the date of the hearing to do that. And they took every one of those 45 days. So we had to wait for the official document because that was what we were going to have to essentially argue against in our court filing. So in 45 days, that came out. At that point, my team had 30 days to file our appeal in court, in actual court, which we did on the 7th of June. So we took almost our 30 days. And we filed a 25-page brief that said North Hopewell Township is basically full of horse feathers. Okay. So that's where we are now. Brief is filed. So filed our case the 7th of June. As I'm recording this, it's the 2nd of July. Almost a month has gone by. You all might think, well, they must have had the trial and it's all settled and Mike's going to tell us what happened. I wish that was the case, but it is not. Here we are almost a month into it, and a judge has not even been assigned to the case yet. Okay, so basically we filed and we're waiting. Now, what should have happened during this past month is North Hopewell Township should have filed a certified record of the zoning proceedings, which is soup to nuts, from their decision to violate me, their violation letter that they sent to me, the hearing, my filing, asking for the hearing, the transcript of the hearing itself, their results, blah, blah, blah. All as a certified record. And that goes to the judge. Now, Pennsylvania state law says they have to do that within 20 days of me filing the court case. But in point of fact, my lawyers tell me that very often townships just ignore that 20-day requirement. And what they will do is wait for a judge to be assigned and wait for the judge to force them to do their job. And then they'll do it. So we don't have a judge yet, so we're waiting. We can't do anything until we have that certified record. And when the judge gets that certified record, he will request my team to give him a brief that says why the contentions of the township are horse hockey. Now, we've already done this with our court filing. This is just the way this goes. So if there's anything new in that record that we don't happen to have, or if is anything that the team feels needs to be emphasized, maybe because they know the judge and the way the judge thinks, but they'll write a new document that's pretty much just like the document we use to file a case. It's going to cover the same points. It may have some areas beefed up. At that point, there may be other motions and briefs required, but at least we'll be working our way towards a trial date. Okay, until that happens, we're not even working towards a trial date. We got nothing going on right now. The lawyers tell me that we are probably 6 months away from seeing the inside of a courtroom at this point. So, that's a little disheartening, right? It's like Longfellow said, the wheels of justice turn slow, which is basically a paraphrase of a 3rd century quote. The mill of the gods turns slow, but it grinds exceedingly fine. But the wheels of justice certainly do turn slow in this case. It's nothing but time. I talked to my lawyers this week. We had a long conference call. They think that we have a very strong case, but particularly the Court of Common Pleas, our first stop, it's highly dependent on the judge we get. And as I think I've told you before, their view is the more knowledgeable that judge is on zoning law, the better it is for us. So we wait and we go to trial, and hopefully we prevail. Now here's the bad news. Whether we win or we lose in the Court of Common Pleas, we are probably going to be going to the Court of Appeals in this case, which is Commonwealth Court. And the reason for that is because these kind of cases always end up being appealed. So we hope to win, we expect to win in the Court of Common Pleas, because winning is always better, right? You always have a stronger hand going for your appeal if you're going in as a winner instead of as a loser. But if we win, North Hopewell Township is more than likely going to appeal it. So we'll be going for the appeal. Now, if we lose, we are certainly going to appeal. Because my lawyers say that our case on appeal is almost a slam dunk. Because the judges there are much more cognizant of the law. I'm probably saying that wrong. I don't want to sell anybody short, but anyway, that our chances on appeal are very, very good, which is a good thing because, as I say, we are going to be going for an appeal no matter what. Now, if we win at Commonwealth Court, the appeal, I don't know if the township will push it all the way to the state Supreme Court or not. That is the question, right? So that's probably a 50-50 shot as to whether or not they want to take that. They will probably sit down and evaluate why they were, why they lost the case, and decide if they can overcome that at the Supreme Court level or not. Now, if we lose in Commonwealth Court, we'll be doing exactly the same thing. You know, my team is going to evaluate whether it is worthwhile to push it to the Supreme Court or not. And that'll be determined basically by the nature of the ruling we get from Commonwealth Court. If they say that fundamentally the law is not in our favor, then we probably won't be going to the Supreme Court. My team doesn't see how that could happen, but you know, they're not fools. They do this for a living. They know almost anything can happen when you're dealing with human beings. So that's what we got to wait for. Now, they think our position in the law is quite strong, particularly the Second Amendment law, which is why there's a good chance that the township won't appeal to the Supreme Court. So what we're looking at is a fight through two levels of court, right? Court of Common Pleas and then the appellate court, the Commonwealth Court. So I asked my lawyers, I said, here's how much money I've got left. Is that going to be enough? Or do I need to open up the GoFundMe again and try to raise more money? And their view is that that should be enough to get us through the appeal process of Commonwealth Court. And if we have to go to the Supreme Court, then all bets are off, you know. So that's what we're looking at right now. You know, I probably have not done a good enough job of keeping you guys up to date with what's going on, but like nothing's been going on, which is why. And there's going to be a whole lot of nothing going on. There's a lot of, you know, hurry up and wait stuff that happens. But I'll try to keep you appraised. But one thing I do want you to know is without your support on the GoFundMe page, your financial support, this would be impossible. Most of the people who are fighting zoning decisions, as I said before, are developers who have millions of dollars on the line and will make millions of dollars when it's all over. So they're willing to invest the resources into the fight. And obviously, when this is all done, I'm not making any money at all. So it's not like I'm betting on the come for a big payoff. I mean, the big payoff for me is to be able to exercise my Second Amendment rights on my own property, which I know is a big payoff for you too, because if they beat me at this, then that basically sets a precedent that if you don't live on your land here in Pennsylvania, the townships can stop you from shooting on it. That only residents can shoot on their land, essentially, is what will happen if I lose this. So this is actually a pretty important thing for me to win. And I couldn't do it without the financial support that you guys provide. I just couldn't do it, and I'm very appreciative of that. I've been out to the NRA and to Gun Owners of America to let them know this is going on, and I haven't even been given the courtesy of a reply. And then I have not asked them for any money at all. I just asked them for help getting the word out that this is happening, and no replies. So for those of you who have been telling me, oh, you should see, the NRA or see Gun Owners of America, which I'm a member of both, they've been no help whatsoever. So if any of you guys have any drag with those organizations, you might ask them to look me up, because, when I send a letter in, it's crickets. So I just want you guys to know that. So far, I've spent over $25,000 on legal fees, and I haven't even seen the inside of a courthouse. And my next bill should be coming in next week, and God only knows what that'll be, So, like I said, I'm very grateful for all the help that you guys have given me, because without that, this would be breaking me. No doubt about it. I don't know how far I could push it. I'd be making the decision probably to sell the place, which I could sell it for twice what I paid for it at the moment. And I would probably just end up walking away from it because I couldn't afford the fight. But thanks to you guys, I'm in the fight. And I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the support that you've given me, not just financially, but, the emotional support as well. It does me good to go to an event, like I was at last week, and have so many people come up and tell me that they are pulling for me. They're praying that the case goes my way, and that they're very interested in it, and they wish me all the best. And I hear from you guys in emails and, PMs and comments and all that stuff all the time. And it is very, very uplifting, especially when you put in a week like I put in this week, where I put a lot of time in on the case. And it's just emotionally very draining when you see what you're up against, because they really do try to stack the deck against you. There's no doubt about it. They count on being the people that are putting me through this, local government, they count on being able to wear you down and being able to run you out of money. And that's all part of their game plan. And like I say, if you're a big developer fighting them, well, it's business. But for me, this is personal. This is highly personal. And it's very discouraging to have to go up against a group like this that wishes you ill. And it's a lot easier when you have a lot of friends at your back, providing you with the emotional support that keeps you going. And I really appreciate that. And in fact, I'm very touched by it. So I just want to say again, thank you very much for all of your help. And I hope the best way that I can thank you is to put out high quality videos. And I'm going to try to keep doing that for as long as I can. And the next video you see after this one will probably be on the Fort Loudon event. And then I've got some cap and ball stuff to do. And later in the year, we'll be back to doing some flintlock smoothbore stuff. So, I hope you all stay tuned for that and that you enjoy it. And until next time, bye.